All right, welcome back, Breakthrough fam. It's Chris Howard again. This time I wanted to talk to you guys about why I got into running. Anyone who knows me knows I absolutely hate running. I always viewed running as a form of punishment, especially coming from sports, right? You fumble the ball, coach tells you to go run around the field. You don't have a good practice, coach tells everyone to line up on the line and we start running gassers. Whatever, conditioning after practice. Running just always felt like it was a punishment. So for me, it was kind of like, that's the last thing I want to get into doing is running. But once I retired from football, I found a gym called X3 and they specialize in martial arts. So they do boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, they also have, equipment and CrossFit stuff. So when I joined the gym, I really had to focus on boxing, which then transitioned into Muay Thai, which then transitioned into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I was literally doing all those classes back to back every week. And while the weight was coming off and I really found something that I loved and I was truly passionate about, the injuries were just piling up. And even though I was getting better, well, maybe not at jiu-jitsu, I did get to blue belt, 2-stripe blue belt, but that's really nothing. But in Muay Thai, I progressed to a point where I was actually able to start teaching classes while our instructor was, on vacation or gone or whatever. But the problem was these sports were injuries, right? You check a kick, you take a knee to the ribs, or you're rolling on a mat with somebody and your ankle gets caught, or you get caught in a submission, you hyperextend your elbow, your knee. These injuries just started piling up. And so while the weight was coming off, I was constantly sidelined by injuries. On top of all those things, I'm getting older. So things aren't healing the way they used to when I was a younger athlete. So for me, it was kind of like, okay, I love this. I really don't want to give it up. And so I would watch these videos of people who were talking about, yeah, I just walked and lost 30 pounds. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like, how in the hell are you just walking and losing 30 pounds? And so I started to watch more videos and really understand the difference between low intensity workouts and low intensity walking and versus, HIIT interval training and stuff like that. And so after looking at the data and some of the things that I was, trying to implement into my own workout, I felt like, okay, well, let me just start off with walking, right? That seemed like a reasonable thing, wasn't going to be impactful on any of my joints. So I started walking. I'd walk a mile, walk 2 miles, walk 4 miles, walk 6 miles. And then one day I was at the track and there was a track club, practicing. And these kids were, running 400, 800. They were zooming around the track. And I just felt like, man, that used to be me. Well, not really used to be me. I could never do that even when I was in shape. But I felt like a younger me could potentially do that. And so I said to myself, I want to be able to run. Maybe not like the way they were running, but I at least just want to be able to run. And so one day I went out there, ran 2 laps. I was literally felt like I was about to die.
It's hot as monkey balls out here. I don't know how monkey balls look like, but if they look like something, I feel like it look like this.
And it was kind of eye-opening for me that I can't run 2 freaking laps without being tired. And I was like, well, that was it. And the old me would have walked away from that and would have been like, I can't do it. But the new me felt it was a challenge. And so I came home and I'm watching videos on running and I come across this guy. His name is Nick Bear, who I'm sure a lot of you probably follow. You probably have his supplements. I've started taking some of his stuff as well. But I'm watching him go through his workout, and he's enjoying the pain and the suck of his workout. He comes outside. He's like, today's a 12-mile workout and it's going to be epic. And I'm thinking that does not sound epic to me. There are many things on my list that are epic. Running is not one of them, especially not running 12 miles. But watching him run and be passionate about it, I wanted something that was going to challenge me in a sense that this is something that I don't like to do. A lot of people will do things that they're comfortable with, that they like doing, but I wanted something that I absolutely hated, that I would be able to, or be forced to push myself through, to break through that negative feeling that I had towards running. So what I did was, I kept up my walking for a few weeks. Then that transitioned into, let me try running 2 laps, 4 laps. Let's see what my time is in the mile. Instead of worrying about distance, I was like, let me just run for time. Let me just run for 15 minutes. And then let me work my way up to 20 minutes. So let me work my way up to 30 minutes. Don't worry about the distance, just focus on the time. And before I knew it, I was loving it. I was loving going out and running. I was loving going out and connecting with nature. I went from a guy who absolutely hated running to someone who was going on Map My Run, trying to figure out where I could run in the neighborhood or what parks were near our house. But I wanted to find people who looked more like me and were breaking through those barriers to attain their goals. Because it's one thing to look at physically fit people and be inspired. It's another thing to look at people who represent what you're going through and represent the body that you're currently trapped in, and seeing them go through that progression and ultimately make it to their fitness goal. And I found a ton of people who were 300 plus pound people who went from couldn't run to their mailbox, much less run a marathon, much less run an ultra marathon. And these people were doing it. They were losing weight, packing on the miles, and it just felt like it mirrored my own journey. And it gave me even more encouragement to get out there and start running more. The furthest I've run so far is 9.5 miles, which, again, to put that in perspective, I hated running a 400 meter, much less running 9.5 miles. So, ultimately my goal is I want to be able to run an ultra marathon. First, I want to be able to run a half marathon, a marathon, and then an ultra marathon. I feel like I would love the challenge. So that's why I got into running. Those are my goals for running. I wanted to share that with you. Again, guys, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get more videos from me. All right, thanks guys. Talk to you soon. Let's break through.